It's easy to see why Gemini, May 21st to June 20th, is such a magnetic sign. They're social butterflies, incredibly sharp and bursting with charm. But let's face it, no one's perfect. For all their dazzling traits, Geminis have their fair share of challenges that can trip them up. In this video, we're diving into 15 of Gemini's negative traits, exploring what makes them tick, and more importantly, how to overcome these challenges for a happier, more balanced life. Stick around until the end to uncover powerful tips that can help Geminis harness their true potential. 1. They're impulsive. Flexible, easygoing Gemini often acts without thinking things through. Gemini is a mutable sign, meaning they're adaptable and comfortable with change, but their flexible nature also makes them impulsive. They're prone to changing their minds often and making rash decisions without really considering what the consequences might be, which makes them seem erratic and unpredictable to the people around them. Tip: if you're a Gemini, your impulsivity isn't always a bad thing. It makes you adventurous. You're probably the friend who's always encouraging everyone else to live a little and try new things, but just remember to think before acting. You can still be adventurous so long as you're in control of your impulses. If you've thought about an action beforehand and still feel good about it, there's no reason you shouldn't go out on a limb or try new things. 2. They can be inconsistent or childish. Unpredictable Gemini tends to get bored and lose focus easily. Gemini has a childlike sense of wonder, which can be super fun and endearing at times. After all, few signs are as energetic, fun, and entertaining as Gemini. However, Gemini's playful nature and mutable modality also give them a short attention span, which can make Gemini seem immature and inconsistent to others, unable to settle down or take things seriously. Tip: if you're a Gemini who struggles with consistency, work on building more routines in your daily life. Besides, you can still make time to goof around and have fun so long as you've also got a few healthy routines to stick to. Beyond that, make an effort to be consistent and follow through when you say you'll do something. People will trust you if they can see that, for all your whimsy, you'll still be there when they need you. 3. They can be nosy. Gemini's natural curiosity may cause them to be unintentionally intrusive. Gemini is bright, inquisitive, and loves learning new things, which isn't a negative thing. However, that curiosity sometimes causes Gemini to poke their nose into other people's business. They don't necessarily mean to be rude, but don't always realize when their inquisitiveness is invading someone's privacy. Tip: if you're a Gemini, it's important to accept that you can't know everything about everyone. Try refocusing on your life and looking inward, letting the people around you have their privacy. 4. They may seem two-faced. Gemini tells different versions of the truth depending on who they're with. Ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, Gemini definitely has the gift of gab. However, sometimes it leaves them spinning tall tales and stretching the truth, especially if they're trying to impress someone new or get people on their side. Gemini is also prone to gossip since they can be nosy and may fuel the rumor mill by sharing the private information they discover. Tip: if you're a Gemini, remember that being yourself is always better than spinning the truth. You love socializing and making friends, and you're super charming as it is. You don't need to spin anything to win people over. Steer clear of gossip. 2. When someone tries to start gossiping, or you feel the urge to gossip about someone, try changing the subject instead. The more you focus on being genuine, while also respecting other people's privacy, the more trustworthy you'll seem. 5. They're sometimes moody. Gemini's multiple personas may cause sudden mood swings. Gemini means twins in Latin, and the symbol of the twins represents it. Thus, Geminis are thought to exhibit two-sided personalities at times. That doesn't mean every Gemini literally has two personalities. They can just be very changeable, dynamic people. As a result, Geminis may experience strong mood swings, acting friendly and affectionate one minute and cold or distant the next. Tip: if you sometimes have mood swings as a Gemini, consider the cause. Suppressing your emotions isn't the way to go, but try to express your feelings in a way that doesn't hurt anyone or push them away. Talk honestly about your feelings rather than getting swept up in the drama. Some Geminis feel experiencing all those highs and lows gives them an engaging story to tell, but instability can be pretty exhausting. 6. They can be materialistic. Gemini's childlike enthusiasm causes them to make impulse purchases. As an air sign, Gemini is often attracted to intelligence, charm, and beauty. They look for beauty out in the world and pursue those things, which can tempt them to splurge on items they think are nice-looking but ultimately don't need. It may also lead Gemini to engage in casual hookups based on appearances. Tip: give yourself a little time to think about a purchase before making it. Whether you let an item sit in your online shopping cart overnight or leave a store to get food before going back, you're more likely to make a sound financial decision when you have time to think about it. 7. They're sarcastic. Witty Gemini may offend people by using sarcasm in serious situations. Gemini's clever sense of humor is second to none. They can make anyone laugh. The only problem is when Gemini starts cracking sarcastic quips during serious moments, which other people may find irritating or disrespectful. Gemini really doesn't mean any harm by it, though. For them, humor is a reflex, and they just want to brighten the mood. Tip: if you're a Gemini, such a killer sense of humor is one of your strengths. Just remember to pay attention to your audience and reserve your jokes for the right time. 8. They tend to exaggerate. Chatty Gemini may try a little too hard to keep people engaged. Gemini is sociable and likes to leave a lasting impression on the people they meet, but their desire to get people to like them also sometimes leads them to embellish their stories or fabricate details. They're entertainers at heart and want everyone to find them intriguing, but their tendency to exaggerate can make them seem untrustworthy. Tip: Gemini, as an air sign ruled by Mercury, you already have charm, eloquence, and humor in spades. You don't need to embellish your stories to impress people. Share the truth with people, not an exaggerated version of events. 9. They may seem flighty. Free-spirited Gemini may struggle to commit to relationships. Because Gemini is a mutable sign, always looking for the next exciting thing, they sometimes have trouble seeing relationships through. They might feel uncomfortable sticking with a single relationship for too long, or keep looking for better prospects even though they're already dating someone. Regardless, their casual view of commitment can make Gemini look flighty to others. Tip: Gemini, remember that committing to someone doesn't mean giving up your freedom. To get more comfortable with commitment, find a partner who shares your adventurous, independent spirit and can keep up with you. Furthermore, it's perfectly okay to pursue a casual relationship instead of something committed, as long as you're honest from the start that it's what you want. 10. They're indecisive. Gemini has a sharp mind and may end up overthinking sometimes. As an air sign, Gemini's keen intellect and analytical capabilities are part of their strengths. However, Gemini's smarts can complicate the decision-making process since Gemini is prone to overanalyzing every issue and, ultimately, being unable to settle on a solution. Gemini also wants as many new experiences as possible and struggles to choose between activities. Tip: if you're a Gemini, try setting time limits to help yourself make decisions. Furthermore, practice making small decisions and getting comfortable with that. From there, larger decisions may be easier to handle. Once you make a decision, commit to it. Trust that you've thought through your options carefully and that your choice is a sound one. 11. They get lonely easily. Extroverted Gemini is most comfortable when surrounded by people. Gemini tends to be a social butterfly. They love connecting with people, exchanging ideas, and having stimulating intellectual conversations. It makes them feel more energetic. Thus, while Gemini is always ready to socialize, they sometimes struggle to spend time alone. They start feeling lonely and sad relatively fast, but their desire for constant stimulation can be tiring for others. Tip: Gemini, practice scheduling some alone time for yourself occasionally. Start small, then do it more as you get comfortable with it. Being alone doesn't have to be sad or boring. You can have lots of fun doing solo activities such as doing arts and crafts, drawing, playing games, baking, or going for a run while listening to a podcast. 12. They can be sensitive. Though Gemini is usually laid back, they're vulnerable to criticism. Because Gemini is a mutable sign, they typically have an easygoing vibe. The exception is when Gemini is faced with criticism. Even when it's intended to be constructive, Gemini may take it to heart and get upset. Gemini may also start feeling neglected or ignored if they don't get enough compliments or positive reinforcement from people. Tip: if you're a Gemini, try taking time to process criticism rather than acting on it immediately. Remind yourself that criticism isn't a reflection of you personally. It's meant to be feedback that helps you improve and grow your skills. Furthermore, work on boosting your self-confidence and becoming your own source of positivity and assurance. That way, you won't have to wait for someone else's compliments to feel great about yourself. 13. They're guarded. Gemini is very social, but hesitant to share their true selves with people. While Gemini loves to communicate and share ideas, stories, and funny anecdotes, they tend to intellectualize their emotions. In other words, Gemini isn't comfortable sharing their emotions with people and often presents a carefully cultivated persona to other people, hiding their feelings behind a cheery attitude and clever sense of humor. Tip: Gemini, You definitely don't have to start sharing with everyone you meet, but try confiding in a couple of people you wholeheartedly trust, whether it's a partner, friend, or family member. It can be tough to share your deepest emotions with people, but you'll feel better after. Ease into it. Share something personal with a confidant, then reveal more over time as you get comfortable with it. 14. They may lack focus. Because Gemini gets bored easily, finding a purpose in life can be tough. Gemini is often known as a jack of all trades because they're curious, adventurous, and fond of trying new things. They tend to know a little bit about everything, but because Gemini can be indecisive and inconsistent, they may not be able to stick with something long enough to become an expert or discover their true calling in life. Tip: Gemini, you want to be successful, but it can be hard to stay motivated when things get monotonous or dull. Set specific goals, so you have something to work toward instead of obscure ambitions. 15. They may struggle with anxiety. Gemini has a tendency to take on more challenges than they can handle. Spirited Gemini lives for new and interesting experiences, tasks, and problems to solve, but in their hurry to get as many experiences under their belt as possible, Gemini might bite off more than they can chew. If they have too much to do and too many responsibilities at once, Gemini can easily start feeling anxious, unfocused, and restless. Tip: don't be afraid to take a break. Anxiety can stifle your passion for the projects you're working on, so there's nothing wrong with stepping away or asking someone else to share some of the burden, so you can relax a little. Furthermore, pace yourself and only accept as many tasks as you feel comfortable handling, Gemini. Gemini, your strengths far outweigh your weaknesses. By recognizing these traits and working on them, you can unlock your full potential and lead a more fulfilling, balanced life. Which of these traits resonates with you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Zodiac insights.